Welcome back. Welcome back. So this is a recap on I'm sorry, TK murder trial that ended with him receiving 80 years, and it really broke my heart cuz this was the second murder trial, cuz the first murder trial ended with him receiving 55 years, and then they threw the 80 years on it, ran it consecutively in Texas. He's just such a young man, and I understood he had some good attorneys. I don't if they were court appointed, they gave it they all. I mean, they bought in the therapist or psychiatrist who went over the trauma that he suffered as a kid and why he became the way he was, and you know it's just really unfortunate. But maybe as he's in there and start hitting the law libraries, that he'll find, a way to get this appealed and maybe get a reduced sentence. I don't know. Texas ain't a state to play with, but I felt really bad for him. But the victims certainly won't be able to come back to life. Rapper Tay K, he stood trial in Baxter County for for the 2017 Capitol murder. Now he did get a victory out of this because the jury found him not guilty for capital murder, but guilty of murder. I mean, which would have been the death penalty, sort of said. Well, he still may die in there because he's been locked up since he was 16. So man, mm, mm, it's just really unfortunate. His real name, Tay K, real name is Tamar McIntyre, the rapper known as Tay K, because while he was on the run after the second murder was done, he made the record The Race. Oh, I just said that. And when he was arrested in 2017, oh, so he was 17. I thought he was 16. He was 17 for two separate murders. One in Tarrant County and another one in San Antonio. Mac, he's now 23 and has been facing serious charges since he was 16. In July 2016, he was one of five suspects accused in a deadly robbery outside Fort Worth. 8 months later, while on house arrest, he cut off his ankle monitor and fled. While on the run, he was allegedly involved in the murder of 23-year-old Mark Anthony Salvador on April 23rd, 2017. The fatal shooting occurred outside of Chick-fil-A near North Star Mall in San Antonio. After 3 months as a fugitive, U.S. Marshals arrested Tay K in New Jersey on the same day he released his song and music video, The Race. The video has since amassed over 250 million views and at one point charted on the Billboard Hot 100. Despite his rise in fame, McIntyre remained behind bars. In 2019, he stood trial in Tarrant County, where he was convicted of murder and sentenced to 55 years in prison. He was later indicted in Salvador's murder and transferred to Baxter County, but the trial was delayed due to the pandemic. While in custody, McIntyre hired prominent defense attorneys. Oh, so he did hire, and they gave it they all. They really did. Gerald Goldstein and John Hunter. He was also been charged with three additional counts of possessing prohibited substances or items in a correctional facility. Criminal defense attorney Daniel De La Garza, who is not involved in the case but specializes in capital murder cases, said McIntyre's viral music video could play a key role in the trial. That video may come in during the guilt innocence portion because evidence of flight is something that prosecutors are always interested in. Despite facing capital murder charges, McIntyre would not be eligible for the death penalty because he was a minor at the time of the crime. See, I didn't know that. There's a federal case law that says when a criminal defendant is under 18 years of age, the death penalty is not on the table. I never knew that. With experienced attorneys on both sides, the trial is expected to draw significant public interest. The state assigned experienced prosecutors, and the defense has two very experienced lawyers. I'm sure they will come up with a very creative defense. Jury selection began March 31st. And mm, 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 mm. So here's a timeline. July 26, 2016, Ethan Walker, 21, was killed in a home invasion and robbery in Mansfield, a city in North Texas. McIntyre was arrested in connection with the case. March 27, 2017, days before certification hearings, Walker's 2016 death and robbery, McIntyre cut off his ankle monitor and fled the Dallas area. Oh shoot. April April 23rd, while on the run, TK shot Mark Salvador, a 23-year-old man, in a Chick-fil-A parking lot at North Star Mall in San Antonio. So it was three men in the car and the woman who testified against him, who was his girlfriend. May 25th, 2017, Skip Pepe, a 65-year-old man, was beaten and robbed at gunpoint by TK in Arlington. Wow. June 16, 2017, authorities said McIntyre fled to New Jersey where he recorded and released the single The Race on SoundCloud as TK. The song made direct reference to his evasion of law enforcement. June 26, 2017, the U.S. Marshal Office announced TK was a violent fugitive wanted on capital murder charges, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram reported. Details of the case were not made public. Texas law prevents law enforcement from disclosing information involving juvenile accused of crimes. PP also identified McIntyre as his attacker from the photo. June 30th, 2017, TK debated the music video for The Race, featuring scenes of him in front of his wanted poster. The video and song went viral, reaching the 44th spot on Billboard Hot 100. The same day, officers arrested TK. He was transferred to Tarrant County Jail in Fort Worth after a judge ordered him to be held in adult jail. Lusa Salvador filed a wrongful death lawsuit against McIntyre. Her lawsuit claimed that McIntyre was the shooter in Mark Anthony's death. TK was found guilty of murder and aggravated robbery for the fatal 2016 shooting of Walker. July 23rd, 2019, TK was sentenced to 55 years in prison and fined $21,000. Damn, man, he was only 17. Damn. Mm, mm, mm. November 15, 2019, he was indicted for the second murder of Mark Anthony. November 21st, 2024, the court set the date of February 7th as the date for his capital murder trial. February 3rd, 2025, the judge granted defense a request for a delay. He had some good attorneys. They tried, but mm, mm, mm. I was just so, it broke my heart. It really did. So, it could have been my son's age. And I mean, they brought in a psychiatrist and everything to show that his childhood attributed, to his behavior, being in the foster care system, no mother, father incarcerated, kids taken from their mother with CPS. It was just, man. Trying to find this other. Okay, here we go. Let's give me a minute while I try to make sure I get all this stuff. Okay, here we go. Let me see if I already said this. He was sentenced 55 years. Okay, I talked about that. Okay, already said that. Police claims that Tay-K was the shooter and suggests the rapper committed this crime while allegedly on the run for his involvement in the 2016 murder of Ethan Walker, because this was his second murder trial. Oh, see, they had offered him a plea deal. Last February, prosecutors offered Tay-K a plea deal for the 2017 robbery and shooting. If convicted, the rapper potentially faces life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, which is pretty much what he got anyway. Let me see if I can find out. Because he was already sentenced to 55 years for the first murder at 17. Lord, he gonna die. Lord, have mercy. Which was the attempted robbery and home invasion in Mansfield, Texas, of Ethan Walker. It was during this time when he was placed on house arrest that Tay-K gained notoriety after he recorded that song, The Race. I wish I could play it. So, entering the third day of testimony, rapper Tamar McIntyre's second murder trial continues with jurors being presented with the crime scene video footage and further testimony from police investigators. I watched the whole trial. It was interesting. They had a lot of witnesses. You can see a black car enter the parking lot of the Chick-fil-A. The complainant was on the hood of the car, and then the front passenger exit the vehicle, appearing to have a white shirt on. You see the complainant fall off the hood, that's the guy that passed, of the vehicle, then the black car takes off. Over the last 2 days, witnesses have taken a stand claiming they seen Salvador fighting with the unknown individuals inside a car before being pushed out and getting on the vehicle's hood. Tay-K's attorney argues that while witnesses' account and video footage present evidence of Mark Anthony's death, prosecutors have failed to present sufficient evidence that confirms Tamar McIntyre was the gunman or if the robbery had even occurred. Wow. Since TK was under the age of 18 at the time of the shooting, he would not be eligible for the death penalty if convicted. So now, while he's been in prison, he has been charged with smuggling prohibited substances into the facility. Hmm. Dang, that's why he got the 55 years. He was convicted on first degree murder and aggravated robbery. Three counts. 55 years of prison with the possibility of parole after 28 years. Damn. Now, see, he would have been like in his 40s getting out. But now they threw 80 years on top of that. Damn. Y'all remember him? This is how old he was when he went in. Don't he look innocent? This is why my heart broke. He has matured so much. Damn. Mm, mm, mm. He dropped out of high school during his freshman year. He began his music career as a member of the group called Daytona Boys in 2014. I already talked about this. Oh, he released a mixtape while he's been incarcerated called Santana World on September 14th. Wow. Dang, he earned around 600 to 700,000 when he made the race. He was featured on Block Boy JB on No Jumper song. Well, I didn't even know none of this. And then he sent out an apology. I want to. Okay, thank you. He issued an apology to his fans. I want to apologize to all my fans and supporters for letting my management and label convince me that it wouldn't be a good decision to speak out against the way the media makes me look and the complete lies they spread. But I'm going to make sure the truth about my life and my character gets out with our with or without management or label. And whoever don't like it, F you. The way the media inaccurately portrays me has affected my life directly. So instead of waiting on my team to get the bright idea to speak up on my behalf, things will be done differently. Of course, I'm not perfect or nothing, but I'm most definitely not the monster they tried to portray me as. With that being said, I also apologize for the way I may have presented myself. I was young and inconsiderate. Hey, he has so much potential. Yeah, I'm not going to, let me just delete all this and show these few little videos. We'll be done with this. Man, I thought I had deleted all this. All right, well, I'll just go back to it. What was the other one? Oh, that was the same one. My bad. My bad. Man, I ain't know I had put all this stuff down. I had to delete all this. It's gonna make a lot of room in my phone. Bear with me, cause I don't want. And so they, I mean, they had to charge him as an adult because this is two murder charge. But he looks so young and innocent. I didn't know he made that much money. So he was transferred from the Tarrant County Jail in Texas to the maximum security Long Evans Correctional Center. There he is placed on solitary confinement for 23 hours a day and allowed an hour in the gym. The relocation is due partly to an altercation Take got into with another inmate. He got a minor victory in court when Texas Second Court of Appeals rules that State District Judge Wayne Salvin was wrong in refusing to set a bail for TK concerning his aggravated robbery case. However, due to no bail being set for this capital murder, the rapper remains in jail while he awaits it. Despite the circumstances, he remains in good spirits, according to a Twitter and Instagram post. That's him now. Mm, mm, mm. Sean Robinson, another accomplice of Ted K in the 2016 murder of Ethan Walker, pleaded guilty to murder in exchange for a 40-year prison sentence. Originally charged with capital murder, Robinson was served 18 years behind bars due to credit for time served before he is eligible for parole. Ted K's co-defendant, Jalen Bell, pleads guilty on 2 counts of aggravated robbery and 2016 home invasion. As part of the plea deal, Bill will receive a 30-year prison sentence, according to the Star Telegram. Wow. Prosecutors say Take tried to start a gang while incarcerated. Oh my God. Prosecutors submitted documents alleging Take attempted to start a gang called Rugrats while in jail. Prosecutors reported filed the notice as evidence of other crimes he has committed. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. Okay, let's see. Let me go to the 14. excuse me. Let me get through this so I can show these videos. Okay, I already went over that. Already did that. Okay, here we go. He was found guilty of murder for the second time. The 24-year-old rapper, who was already serving a 55-year prison sentence for murder, he received another 80 years. Let's see, I'm trying to skip all this. So I'm trying to see, did they run that concurrently? Let me get, I already did this. Tay-K found guilty of murder. I'm trying to see if it ran it concurrently. Because a lot of this I already went over, so I'm just deleting this off my phone. During the reading of the verdict, which can be seen below, multiple people had to be removed from the courtroom after they audibly reacted to the news that he would not be convicted of capital murder. During the trial, the jury heard testimony for Tay-K's ex-girlfriend, Joanna Reyes, who was present during the incident. She told the court she witnessed Tay-K shoot Salvador after the rapper and three other men, including Jalen Bell, tried to rob Salvador of camera equipment. Reeves was driving the SUV which belonged to her father. She also testified that Tay-K and Bill were gleeful about the killing. They were going through the victim's backpack and his wallet. They had got upset because he only had $10. They were kind of going back and forth, and Jalen applauded and gave him a high five. They high-fived each other, and Jalen said, "You caught your first body." That was actually his second, but Reyes, who was charged with witness tampering, received a suspended sentence in exchange for her testimony. The conviction of capital murder would have meant a mandatory life sentence, but he was a juvenile when he was officially charged, so he wasn't eligible for capital murder. All right, now let me do this. Sure, I might be done. Man, I thought I had. I had everything set up so I could show these videos. Dang. I think I am after this. I might. No, I got to do one more. I got to do one more. I'm gonna do the legacy news. That's what I'm gonna do. And I might read a chapter out of my book. I need to do Fannie Willis. Oh, it's April 2nd. Let's give me a few minutes. Oh, it went past. I'm getting sleepy. I could tell. I could tell. Okay, here we go.
Robbed of his passion and fatally shot for fighting to get it back. That's how the prosecution describes what happened to Mark Anthony Saldivar back in April of 2017.
It is what we heard on the first day of the murder trial for Texas rapper Tay K. His real name is Tamor McIntyre, and he was 16 when he was accused of killing Saldivar. Erica Hernandez covering this for us, and she joins us now from the Bexar County Justice Center. So, Erica, how did each side lay out their case here on day one?
Where am I lighting?
Yeah, Myra. So for the state, they say Mark Anthony Saldivar was allegedly attacked by Tamor McIntyre and his friends as they were trying to steal his photography gear. But the defense says that there will be key eyewitness testimony that will be inconsistent and that they have evidence that will dispute the state's entire case.
How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
It's been more than 7 years since Tamor McIntyre was arrested and later charged with the capital murder of 20-year-old Mark Anthony Saldivar. Saldivar fatally shot in a Chick-fil-A parking lot right across from North Star Mall after allegedly having his camera equipment stolen.
He was an up-and-coming rapper that contacted Mark about this photo shoot.
Prosecutor Jason Garahan says inside the vehicle with McIntyre were 3 other people, and at some point they demanded Saldivar's backpack.
This man right over here pulled out a gun and turned around and started hitting with fist and also with a gun, telling him, "Give me your stuff, give me your stuff."
Saldivar, Garahan says, was able to get out of the vehicle and got on top of the car asking for his backpack. That is when he says McIntyre got out.
You'll see that passenger door open up, the front passenger door open up. Where this man over here was sitting with that gun. He leans out. He shoots Mark through the shoulder.
The defense says all the people in the vehicle will testify about what happened, but their testimony is not consistent, and there was never any evidence Saldivar even had camera equipment with him.
You'll hear testimony from one of the cooperating co-defendants, one of the accomplices, that the photo shoot that he just described had been called off, and that they were just giving this guy a ride. There's no camera recovered in this case.
The defense even implying they have ballistic evidence that doesn't match what the state has.
This conflicting evidence, it's worth the wait.
Now, testimony is still ongoing right now. You can watch it live. We are live streaming.
Yeah, I watched the whole trial. I hope it's not the same one.
Testimony in the capital murder trial of Tamor McIntyre, rapper known as Tay K, started this afternoon. He's accused of robbing and shooting a man nearly 8 years ago.
News 4 San Antonio's
That's how he
Mariah
looked
Medina
when he
in
was
court today and
arrested.
joins us
Broke my
live with the
heart.
latest. Mariah, why the delay? Well, Mandy, as you noted, this fatal shooting occurred almost 8 years ago, back in 2017. McIntyre was indicted in 2019. The pandemic obviously caused a delay for a lot of criminal defendants, McIntyre included. Now, despite having years pass, jurors today heard from witnesses that testified about what they saw unfold back in April of 2017. Several witnesses took the stand saying they saw people fighting in a black car near McCullough and 410. They say McIntyre and others hit the victim, who was identified as 23-year-old Mark Anthony Saldivar. At some point, they say Saldivar got out of the car and jumped on the hood of the vehicle while screaming for help and asking for his property.
Okay, did you see anything in the hands of the black male in the front?
Yes.
What did he have in his hands?
It was a handgun, a black handgun.
Okay, and where was that pointed at?
He was also using it to hit him.
Okay, so it was being used to strike the person in the backseat, is that correct?
And prosecutors say McIntyre robbed Saldivar of his camera gear, shot him with that gun, and then took off. Now, defense attorneys, however, say prosecutors are going to be unable to prove McIntyre shot Saldivar, much less that robbery occurred. Should McIntyre be convicted, he faces a maximum of life in prison because he was a minor whenever this incident occurred. Reporting live at the Gazana Reefs Justice Center.
Man,
I'm
if that wasn't the saddest case. Okay, that was day. Okay. Here with me. We almost done with this, so I'm gonna do one more. Damn, is that it? Oh, they reopened Nipsey. Oh, they reopened it. Okay, I don't see that. I ain't gonna worry about that thing. Let me see, because if this too long, oh no, we would definitely won't be doing that. That is too long. No, we will not. No, we will not. Hey, but I could have just. I'm trying to find this. God damn. Oh shit. I went backwards. The hell? I ain't know they reopened Nipsey murder thing. They gonna try to get Big U on that. I just seen the video on that I didn't get to. I'm trying to get to the last day of the trial so I can end this. If y'all only seen how much information I got in this phone. If I ever lose a phone, I'm done. You hear me? This is crazy. I had everything marked off as usual. Where is it? I'm about to say forget it. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, I got to do Cider Baby. He from Detroit. Oh, I got to. Here we go.
They were kind of going back and forth, and then Jalen applauded him and gave him a high five. They high-fived each other, and Jalen said, "You caught your first body."
In the day and age of people,
This City Cash.
we just got to see the proof. This is one of those cases that serve as, we ain't always about to say, hey, this person is innocent and all that.
Do you know why you're here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that?
For the case to get justice for Mark Anthony Salvador.
Have you taken responsibility for your actions on the day?
Let me hear the question, and then I'll rule in your objection.
Have you taken responsibility for your actions on the day that Mark Salvador died?
My objection will be overruled.
You can answer the question.
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you do that?
I pled guilty to tampering with evidence.
Okay. So you entered a plea agreement with the state of Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now regarding that plea agreement, originally you were charged with capital murder, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you worked out a deal where you ultimately pled to the offense of tampering with evidence, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And for tampering with evidence, the range of punishment is 2 to 10 years in prison or community supervision.
I'm going to object to leading. Always say, and ask the jury to disregard the question and the answer.
On the way to North Star Mall, what happened?
We hit the light at McCullough, and
I'm gonna let
Tamar
some of
took
that
out his
go.
gun and pointed it at Mark and asked for his bag. Mark refused to give him the bag, so they all started hitting him, and Tamar was hitting him with the gun, and the whole time I didn't look back, but when I did, I saw his face, and I started telling them to let him go, and I just kept screaming, "Let him go."
Hearsay.
And Jalen opened the door and started pushing him out. And he was fighting to get back in the car. And then I didn't let him in the car. So he went around the car and he jumped on the hood. And the light turned green.
I'm going to stop you right there, okay? So, who did Timur have a gun pointed at?
Mark.
And
Wow.
what was Timur saying?
Well, anyway, I think I'm gonna end this right here. Oh, wait a minute. Is this it? Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay.
I think if I were to guesstimate,
That's a day in the life of Tamar McIntyre. Just one day. She was an accomplice, but she took her responsibility. Defense counsel's correct. She's getting deferred.
This
She's
is
been on
Classy
for over
Beats.
7.5 years. Has abided by that. Has not broken the law. Has not broken bond. She came in here and testified. And you know what people do, or what was it labeled as when they testify? Snitches.
Your Honor, may we approach?
I mean, she kind of was a snitch.
She was.
Gave him money, so why do you give him money? But Joanna Reyes is getting bought off. Remember that.
Well,
Fingerprints of the college jail now, best friends. The jail calls tell them about that best friendship, and also money being transferred to Jalen Bell from Tamar McIntyre. They ride together in town in San Antonio, and then they left together and escaped off, one to Dallas. Jalen Bell gets caught there. If you listen to the testimony of the officer there was another individual with him. Who was that individual? Where did that individual go after his buddy got caught? He ran off to New Jersey.
it's a great point.
Connection to what? That letter that was found in the car. That's also corroborating evidence that he was there at the crime scene and committed this crime. Altogether, also testimony in here, you got that showcasing that was tested against the gun. It did not come back to that gun. You heard about the one shot. Several witnesses testified to that. You got shows that the front seat passenger in the white shirt. Watch the video. It's a white shirt. Watch the El Paltacino video. It's a white shirt. El Paltacino video as they pull up.
Now we're going to move forward, and we're going.
Bell, that blue iPhone that the prosecutor spoke of, a photograph of Mr. McIntyre and Joanna Reyes, and a letter addressed to Mr. McIntyre. So dirty laundry, toothbrushes. We see very significantly a .380 auto bullet, a live round in the front passenger seat, the seat that they insist Mr. McIntyre was sitting in based upon nothing other than the bare word of Joanna Reyes. But nevertheless, a .380 auto round, a bullet that you know could not have been fired from a 9mm. We have a condom in the back seat,
So what
a
happened?
wallet, broken sunglasses, a necklace pendant, straight out in the El Potosino parking lot, a broken SD card. We have these innocent bystanders. And yes, it's normal that people going about their daily lives are going to give detailed accounts of that, but don't accept that as some kind of an apology for the state's shoddy investigation. That's not how you should interpret that. Yes, it's normal that innocent bystanders are going to give conflicting accounts, and so that evidence has to be weighed less than it would if someone was able to give a definitive account. You have no eyewitness identification of Mr. McIntyre. You have no eyewitness identification from any of those people of any of the participants in the car.
All right, so he's taking the he wasn't there route.
Wow, but they did the best they could do with the evidence. They were good lawyers. He did. He had some good lawyers, but 80 years on top of, man, 55, he is going to be such an old man. He's going to be so institutionalized.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, not guilty of the offense of capital murder. What did I, excuse me, no. No, out of the courtroom. Out of the courtroom now.
Well, isn't that interesting because of what the title says?
Unanimous? All right, if you will give the verdict form to Deputy Laura, please. Thank you. please stand? We, the jury, find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, not guilty of the offense of capital murder. What did I, excuse me, no. No, out of the courtroom. Out of the courtroom now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen now is I'm going to allow you all to have your recess for lunch, and then we'll begin the second phase of the trial. All right, everyone, please rise for the jurors.
Okay, let's see if he got that. So then I don't have to.
Mexican restaurant laughed about it for murder. Capital, nothing. Because a gun lives for facing life herself.
So that's when he was found not guilty, but he ended up getting 80 years. For not first degree, second degree. I want to find that video. Okay, here it is. I think this is it. And then I can close this on out.
All right. It states that we unanimously find that the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, did not cause the death of Anthony Saldivar under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from adequate cause. It states that punishment is to be assessed at 80 years in the prison, and there's no fine. Does anyone wish to have the jury poll?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm first going to start with your unanimous decision stating that there was no finding of sudden passion. If that is your verdict, I'll need you to respond yes. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
So we'll start on the end. Is this your verdict? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Oh.
I'm on the back row. I'm sorry. Is this your verdict on the back row? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
With regards to the sentence of 80 years in the prison and no fine, if this is your verdict, I need you to answer yes. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
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 Back row, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have you go back to the jury room, and I'll meet you back there shortly. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, Mr. McIntyre, the jury found you guilty of murder. Your punishment is to be assessed at 80 years in the prison. The court will give you credit for any time served. There's a $0 fine. And with regards to the other offense, State, are you requesting that to be stacked?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor.
And I'm assuming you're against that. Is that correct?
We are, Your Honor. We would just like to briefly, for the record, maintain that our argument would be that to run consecutively an 80-year sentence on top of 50.
Just one moment, counsel. Just give me one moment. Mr. McIntyre, I want you to know that I listened to all the evidence in punishment and thought about whether or not your sentence should be stacked. I don't know where your mom is, don't know where your father is. I know that you had a rough childhood. And I do know that these offenses occurred when you were very young. and I understand the state of the law, what people consider an adult. I listened to the testimony of the expert that was brought by defense counsel. You've already been sentenced to murder in the other county, and then you have a murder here. And the sentence for 55 years, that's a stiff sentence. This 80-year sentence is a stiff sentence. And these are cases where you have to serve half your time, and that's day for day time, and I recognize that. Hopefully you will grow, but based upon his age, based upon the number of years that he has received out of Tarrant County and the number of years that he's received here, based upon his history and the lack of any type of good parenting. From what I can tell, his mother wasn't a good parent to him. His father wasn't a good parent to him. Child Protective Services was not good. And if you believe the testimony, I don't know why Child Protective Services would place children back with a father who put the children's mother in the hospital. Is there something else that needs to be done with our society? Yes. Is more money needed for Child Protective Services and workers? Yes. And I do realize that while this is a lot of time, and I tell people all the time, any time that you do in custody is a lot of time. But by that same token, you're still alive. And what the state has said is true. You're still alive. You can still better yourself. If you end up in prison for the rest of your life, you're still alive. You still can improve yourself. Your family can still visit you. But the complainant in this case is deceased. And you need to internalize that the complainant in this case is deceased and that his family is never going to see him again. So you're going to have to make changes. And you're going to have to remove people from your life who are not of benefit in the means of making you a better person. And I do understand.
Now, how he supposed to do that and he locked up with criminals? I couldn't believe the judge said that. Really? How? And then he locked up for 100-some years.
That sometimes people will go to prison. They join gangs because you need protection, because you're there by yourself. You're young, but you're going to have to make better choices. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to sentence him to 80 years in the prison, give him credit for any time served. There is a $0 fine. This will run concurrent with 1-5.
Oh, she did run it concurrent.
7D.
Yep, ran it concurrent. That's what I wanted to know. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. All right. I'm sleepy.